noticed, I've been working hard to add image descriptions on my Instagram, as well as adding more descriptors to voiceovers. In this video, I did my best to add descriptions where I failed to do so when I was filming. I'll continue to do my best to remember to be more mindful of the non-specific terms this and that in future videos. Thanks for understanding.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yana. Today I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup that I'm kind of on the fence about. This is a video that I did previously where I talked about products that, I'm not too enthusiastic about having in my collection. I purchased the products and I don't love them. I also don't hate them. And since I am moving imminently, I thought this would be a good chance for me to put these products on my face, see if I can give them one last chance to stick around or, get rid of them before I move. So I did already film this video before, but because I don't have a mirror behind me, I can't always see if I'm in frame properly or not. I do try to take my hand mirror and put it behind and see if things are looking good, but these things happen and things were not properly framed, so I had to scrap the video and we're starting over. Things didn't go all that well. My face makeup was so bad that I ended up having to wipe it off and put it on again. So just to give you an idea, these products really don't work as well as a lot of others in my collection. But we're going to see how things go today. Maybe things will go a little better. We'll see. So the last time I did this video, I started with the Joe Fresh Illuminating Primer. That did not go well under the foundation that I tried. So instead I'm going to try the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Primer. I'm probably going to keep this just because it's cheap and it doesn't seem to disturb too many foundations. Having said that, it doesn't necessarily make them perform better, but it's nice to be able to test things over a silicone-based primer when I'm doing my reviews. And I feel like as long as it doesn't make things look worse, then I can at least see how things go. But I'm going to use this today and see what happens. And I'm going to clip my hair back just because it is in my face a little bit. Squirt it out. Yeah, I'm moving by the 22nd of October, so things are very busy. And also I haven't been feeling very well, so it's been very hard for me to maintain my filming schedule. We'll see how things go. So this has a very lotion-like consistency. It doesn't really feel kind of slimy and slippery like a silicone primer, kind of like the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, if you've ever tried that. They give samples of that away like free candy. It's everywhere. You get them from Sephora, you get them from Shoppers Drug Mart. It's everywhere. And if you're part of if you have a subscription box that you get every month, you're bound to get one every couple of months, maybe even every month, depending on the subscription. I don't have a subscription, but I've seen people unbox them. So anyway, I can feel it on the skin. It doesn't feel bad, but you can feel something there. And the foundation I'm using is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation in the shade Pale. This is the lightest shade. I mentioned in my video where I was talking about these products that this foundation is very inconsistent. Sometimes it looks very nice and sometimes it looks very chalky. So it's very hit and miss. Also, this is not my correct undertone. While it does match me in terms of shade depth, it's very yellow, so I can only wear it in small amounts or I have to mix it with something else. What I generally do is mix it with my Bisutang BB cream because that is also the same shade depth, but it's far too pink. So far too yellow, far too pink. You get a neutral foundation, and I'm neutral, so there you go. So what you do is you have to shake this up. It's very, very liquidy. It's a dropper foundation, as you can see. So I usually put a couple drops on the back of my hand and start spreading it around. It says you can use 1 drop for your whole face. That's not going to happen. I usually put 3 drops and start from there. Very yellow. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. Why aren't you doing what all the cool kids do and just drop it right on your face? That's a disaster waiting to happen, especially when you're wearing a white shirt.
I'm blending out the foundation with my Real Techniques sponge.
You can see that it's very low coverage, so that's 3 drops and very low coverage, but I like to start small and see where it gets me, you know? I don't like going in with 10 drops right away.
Dotting on a little bit more foundation.
Today is going to be one of those days where it doesn't look that bad.
And just blending out the second layer of foundation for a little bit more coverage.
So that was about 8 drops to cover my whole face and my neck. So when they say that you can use 1 drop for your whole face, I wonder if they mean like a baby's face? You'd have to have a very small face. So one part that I didn't mention in that video because I didn't have it at that point in time is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. Now I did do a concealer roundup where I tested this as well as 2 other concealers. And this one came in last place for a reason. I just have a lot of trouble with it. My under eyes don't seem to have trouble with any other concealer in terms of dryness. It's just this one, and it seems to be when I use the sponge more than anything else, it wipes away the concealer. So I don't use a sponge anymore. I use a brush. Now usually a brush is what creates micro exfoliation and makes your skin look more dry. And oddly enough, not in this case, the brush helps to not lift away the concealer. Because yeah, if I just use a sponge, it just pulls it off my skin. So I'm not even going to attempt with a sponge today. I'm just going to dab it on my face and use a brush to blend it out. This does actually have extremely mixed reviews online, so I don't think I'm the only one who has trouble with this. And I'm only going to put it on one side at a time because it has a very quick dry down time.
I'm blending out the concealer near my eye area with a larger brush.
I prefer to color correct when I use this concealer under my eyes because it just makes the purple circles look gray. So what I've been doing is either color correcting first and then using this, mixing it with another concealer, or just using this on my face. So I am going to just spot conceal on a couple of areas. I'm going to use this concealer brush from Eco Tools because this was one of the brushes I mentioned in the videos being just kind of okay.
This is a small flat concealer brush that I'm using to blend out the spot concealer.
And you can see I'm not really getting that ashiness on the rest of my face, it's just under the eyes. To set that, I'm using this translucent setting powder from Kat Von D. It was just a free mini that I got before I found out what a horrible person she is. And this has a tint to it, so it can look too dark on my skin sometimes. Particularly under my eyes, it can look too yellow and kind of make me look a little bit jaundiced.
I'm using a very small brush to set around my eye area.
I swear like a brush hair poked me in the eye or something. You see how red that eye just got? Wow. Oof. That didn't feel nice. For the rest of the face, I'm going to use this Eco Tools brush.
This is a larger, fluffier brush, often used for blush.
I'm trying to remember to use brushes that I said were just kind of okay. They're all Eco Tools brushes that I got in that set. So I came in a little bit closer. We're going to start working on this area of the face. So I mentioned that I had this Mariposa eyebrow pencil that you have to be very careful with because it's very, very pigmented. Like, it goes on very creamy. And that could be a good thing for certain parts of the face and not so good for others. When you're doing your eyebrows, if you have full pigmentation right away, you can end up with huge, big, bold brows. And maybe that's what you're going for. Me, not so much. So this can be a little bit difficult. What I've been doing lately to sort of counteract that is rolling it up further, actually, so that I don't press as hard, and trying to draw just the hairs and not so much on the skin if I can.
I'm just using small hair-like strokes to draw the eyebrow pencil through my eyebrows.
Then take my spoolie. Sorry for any noise you can hear. We have some movers. We're kind of moving bit by bit, you know. You can see how easily this product smudges through, so if you would put too much, it would smudge all over your skin as well. That's why I put just a little bit on. And then if I need to add more in certain areas, that's when I go in with just the brush and kind of go through those areas, including the front of the brow. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to start with the LA Colors palette in Chic. I talked about how the darker colors in here are very ashy and not very pigmented. Some of the mid-tones just look very, very similar, and then the lighter tones don't show up on my skin tone. Plus it smells. Like, it doesn't smell moldy or anything, it just has a weird scent, like a perfumey, not a pleasant perfumey smell. I do like the Periwinkle shade. And, you know, some of the mid-tones aren't bad, it's just that they don't differentiate themselves from each other on the eye. But anyway, I'm going to start with this shade here in the crease. Actually, no, I'm going to start with the one above.
This is a pale, cool-toned pink that I'm putting in my crease.
Yeah, some of them are not very pigmented. A lot of them are not very pigmented. And none of these are matte, so, I mean, they all look very shimmery on the eye, which could bother some of you. And that's about as much as this shade can be built up. So the next shade I'm going to go into is this one, and we'll see what that can do.
This is a darker, more purple-toned pink being used through the crease.
The next color I'm going to go into, and I've just popped it in here for now, is the NYX Hot Singles eyeshadow in Ultraviolet.
A matte ultraviolet purple.
And for that, I'll use this brush from Eco Tools.
This is a flat shader brush for the lid.
These Hot Singles eyeshadows, again, they're just not, they're not what I expected. They just tend to be kind of patchy and blend away. So they don't always look like they do in the pan. This one in particular, if you try to use it in the crease, it's very difficult. You can see how it's kind of sheared through in certain areas on my eye, even though I'm I'm really packing it on. And I'm going to try taking that and blending that upward. And it's starting to disappear. See, this is the problem. See that area right up here? It's just starting to blend away. So then what we'll have to try and do is go back in with the flat brush and see if it will adhere again, which it's not really. So I'll try maybe taking my finger. So on the outer corner of my eye, I'm going to try taking this shade from NYX, and I think it's called Arrogance, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll have to look it up and leave it below. And it's supposed to be a darker purple that has like a satin shimmer to it. And yeah. Does that look darker? I don't think that looks darker. If it does, it's only by a little bit.
And I'm just using the same flat brush to put that on the outer corner of my eye.
I promise you I know how to do eyeshadow. It just doesn't look like it right now. Let's try some of this darker purple up here. And just for kicks, we'll even try the little sponge tip that comes with it. And nothing. Oh wait. No. On the lower lash line, I'm taking this last NYX shade, and I'm not sure what this one was called.
Addiction.
Either this one was Arrogance or the dark purple was, and then I don't know what this one, what the other shade is, so. And I'll use this angled brush by Eco Tools. This one is meant to be a metallic burgundy.
I'm using the angled brush to sweep that along the lower lash line.
Let's see if I can make this look a little prettier. I'm going to try putting maybe some of this in the center of my eye.
I'm using my finger to tap a gray toned purple in the center of the lid.
I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll try the white shade.
I'm using my finger to tap the white shade over the center of the lid.
I'll put the peach on the inner corner. And under the brow. Boy, this one's kicking up a lot of powder. So I'm going to take the NYX Epic Ink Eyeliner because it's very black, but it's very, very liquidy, and it bleeds, and it's hard to use.
I'm taking the NYX That's the Point eyeliner, not the Epic Ink eyeliner, and drawing a winged eyeliner.
Like, I'm pretty good at eyeliner, but this stuff is hard. I have very little control with it. And I don't know if you can see, but the tip is so fine that it tends to bend, which, again, can make things more difficult. So I'm going to be using two different mascaras today. I'm using the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, which this was free, so I did not pay for this. It was a point perk at Sephora, so technically I did pay for this. I paid $100 for it. And the reason why I'm using this today is because this smudges worse than any other mascara I've tried in years. So within the next 2 hours, this will be all underneath my eyes. I also don't think that this does anything that spectacular. I really like the Essence Lash Princess Sculpted Volume Mascara, and that stuff costs about $4. And it does not smudge. and it looks better than this stuff. The other mascara I'm using is the Essence Vibrant Shock Lash and Brow Gel Mascara, which is supposed to be purple, but I don't really find that it does anything. I don't really find that it adds any purple to my lashes. Makes me very sad because I bought this thinking, oh, I would have purple eyelashes. Not so. I mean, I can't see any purple, can you? If I use this on its own, it just doesn't do anything. So I kind of have to layer it over something, but I see nothing. So I kind of zoomed back out a little bit again. And I'm going to be taking this E.l.f. highlighting blush in Candid Coral. You can see I hit pan on it the other day. I do have this in my yearly project Use It Up. This just is not the best formula. It collects little bumps on top for some strange reason. No matter what you do, that's just what happens. And it takes a lot of like digging, swirling in the pan to get it onto the face. See, like, you see how hard I'm going in at it before going onto my face. And that's with any brush. That's not just because this is so fluffy. So you can imagine me with my super pasty white ass. If I have to dig in that hard to get blush on my face, if you have a deeper complexion, this just isn't going to work. I mean, it's a cute color once it's on, but it's just not worth it to have to dig that hard. And finally, for lipstick, this is the Annabelle Outrageous Collection with Hayley Elsaesser in the shade Banana Yana, which is absolutely stunning. Very unique color, but because there's glitter particles in it, it's kind of rough and scratchy, and it's not very comfortable after you wear it for a little while. You can see also it's not the most opaque formula. So that is it. That's my full face of makeup. What do you think of it? How do I look? Does this look any different than how I normally look, in your honest opinion? So I don't know how many of these are going to stay in my permanent collection. I feel like I can still use some of these, and I want to still use some of these, and some of them I know I'm going to get rid of, particularly some of the eye products. I feel like I can still use some of the face products. Like, I'm going to keep the lipstick because it is a really unique shade. I'm going to keep using the blush, probably the foundation, because I can still mix it with something. Like, I can still use the concealer, I can still use up the powder. Really small products like this I can get rid of easily. And this is almost done anyway, so, but full-size eyeshadows, if they're not adding anything of worth, then I can see if my mom wants them, and if not, then I will just get rid of them. That's why I took them out of my big palette, because I knew I wasn't going to use them anymore. And same with this palette here. If I'm not going to use it, I could always depot the little shade at the bottom that I do like, and then get rid of the rest of it. I probably will get rid of this since it's not really purple, and I'm not going to be using it in my brows. I bought it as a mascara, so yeah, that I can toss. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know if there are any products that you're not using, if you would give them one last chance. I post Mondays and Fridays here on this channel in the afternoon Eastern time, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye guys!